This is a Jmix exclusive.
Justice for Tupac Shakur. What did Sharetha Knight and Reggie Wright Jr. have to gain by killing Suge?
$500 million.
They were trying to take over Death Row.
Absolutely. If they can't take the money from you, they take you from the money.
Welcome everybody to the live stream.
Hey everybody.
Special guest as always is Mr. R.J. Bond, who gave us the news on Reggie Wright Jr. yesterday.
Homies, what's going on everybody? I'm just gearing up here, getting the YouTube chat up going so I can see what the heck everybody's talking about today.
Right on. How did everybody like last night's episode of Who Killed Tupac by A&E? Go ahead and throw it up in the comments. You guys, I don't know if I'm going to be next week because of the promo they ran, but it will either be that one or the one after. I believe RJ's in the mix. Well, I know he's in there. I just don't know how they're editing and doing it down. So, what's up, JM Kazi, Corey, Valentine, Tupac Nation in the house, Isaac, Gunsmoke the Don, Mark Apperson, Prince Poppy, Mindstrap, Art of the Dialogue, my dude. Everybody go check out Art of the Dialogue's channel. It's dope. And if you haven't caught up on Who Killed Tupac, go check out his channel. He's got all the clips on there, all the exclusives. I recommend everybody go sub to him.
What up everybody? How's everybody doing? Hope everybody had a great week, and I hope you took me up on my word to my ask to get 2 of your friends to come and join the show. We want to try to build ourselves a bit of an audience here, you know, so that we can keep the conversation going, and we don't ask for anything except for that you watch the show. So we're going to Gunsmoke the Don. Why the hell is Mike Carlin in there? Oh, yeah.
Well, I actually got the answer to that question. The reason, and I'm going to spill the beans here, the reason that you see Jesse on the A&E show is because originally Mike Carlin turned them down. So I was the Mike Carlin replacement there for a minute, and then I guess Mike Carlin decided to do some promotion for Battle for Compton. I hope I'm not stepping out of lines by telling that behind-the-scenes story, but that is a fact.
Yeah, that's true. True that. Derek Bailey, what up? Jeff Keon, what up, y'all? Donald Trump is affirmative action for the GOP. Holy mackerel, what a name. Greetings, Dane. Greetings, Gino, as always, my man. We're glad you're back. Good to see you again, Bobby Johnson. Why nobody wants to talk to Trayvon? Everybody wants to talk to Trayvon. Trayvon's just not talking, and it's probably the smartest move that he could make. So,
I believe that Trayvon was the mysterious person in the suit and hat. They had a mystery man, for those who didn't see it, that was shrouded behind one of Suge's enforcers.
Oh, no. I have something completely different to say about that. Don't spoil it. We're gonna talk about that in a minute. Okay, so
RJ is not at Peanuts.
No, RJ is not at Peanuts. No, today is no Peanuts Day. We're here live with our buddies. Greetings to everybody. Call your friends, tell your neighbors. We have an exclusive coming on the show. I haven't even told Jesse about this one. I like to try to pull these out. Yeah, we got an exclusive coming up. Okay. You know, it took a lot of time and effort, but nothing is too good for our fans and nothing is too good for our crew. So we're going to continue to keep putting some content out. Let's you want to talk about the show? We can talk about the show. If you want to.
Yes, I would. If you don't mind, I'll do some what I think were highlights from episode 4.
Please.
Highlights from episode 4 were Jewel. I mean, I think I speak for a lot of people when I say that Jewel was the standout of episode 4.
I think her hair was the standout.
Saying Suge Knight put a gun in my face, Jewel spilling all the beans. Do I agree with Jewel that Tupac set up? That Tupac was set up by Suge? I don't even know if she alluded to that. You guys have to keep in mind these things are edited, but so far Jewel was the standout. Daz did make an appearance, and besides saying Suge is the devil, I wasn't really impressed with what Daz had to say. I mean, he just repeats the same thing over again. No hate to Daz. It was good to see him on there. I'm just going to do a couple here, and then we'll bounce back to RJ. Corrupt was on there looking high. I don't know what's going on with Corrupt these days, but every interview I see with him, he looks a little under the influence. And, shout out to Kurt Cobain, because Kurt Cobain, we connected, got him on the show, and I'm glad to see him on there. Although, I guess his comment about if Suge wanted him dead, he would have done it in Cabo when he was drowned in. That's not really a good point, because the point that Kurt made, if Suge wanted him dead, he would have had him drown in Cabo. Tupac had just got out of jail. They were having a good time. There was no issue of money. But overall, I think that the episode was pretty decent, although notice a few things. One of the things is Benjamin Crump says we're doing the live fire test with a Cadillac and a BMW, and it's the first time it's ever been done. Well, this has been filmed over the course of the last year and a half approximately. It does look like someone at Fox caught wind of that idea and ripped them off. RJ, your thoughts?
Well, I think that the show overall was Tupac Assassination Part 1. That's what I think. I think we did this show 10 years ago, and we laid it all out. We were wrong about some things in the show, and we've come out and admitted it since about what was going on with Suge Knight. But I mean, we talked all about the whole money situation and what Tupac owed and all that. I mean, this is, and again, it's no secret because we got most of the information that we got from early investigation of Russ Poole, which is the same thing that fueled Randall Sullivan. So Randall Sullivan, whom I really like, and I have just an enormous amount of respect for, told what he believed to be the story and the motive. And again, it doesn't stop somebody from saying, if Suge Knight was the guy, this was his motive. I really think that's what it comes down to. I don't think it's a question of did Suge Knight do it or didn't do it. I don't believe he did. But if he did do it, there's a lot of really good reasons why. And that's what we did in the first Tupac assassination movies. We laid it out. Here's the mechanics of we know what happened based on witness statements. And so why would somebody, if they were going to do it, why would they do it? And we put that out there. So, that's really what I saw when I looked at it. I'm like, yeah, okay, been there, done that. Yeah, okay, been there, done that. It's nice to see things get reaffirmed that you've already put out there by people. But at the same time, there wasn't anything earth-shattering. The Stanley brothers, I mean, they didn't bring up Dwayne Bowdy. Dwayne Bowdy was another guy, got the beat out of him, and he sued Death Row Records and Reggie and Suge and, got a settlement and walked away from that. I don't think anybody's here in the business of saying that Suge Knight's a really nice guy. He's not, clearly. So, I think that if you look at it that way, I don't think that that there's any question about that. I think in that aspect, the show did a fantastic job. They painted Suge as a guy who's a violent dude. Okay, he was a violent dude. Doesn't mean that he killed Tupac. I mean, you can be a violent dude and not do that. So that's really where I want to. I would agree. And by the way, just a quick couple of the shout outs. Let's keep up on the shout outs stuff because there's a lot of new names I'm seeing, and I'm really jacked about that. Thank you guys. Mark Apperson, Sean Booth, Hit Him Up 11, Tyrone. Welcome to the show. Valentine Outlaw. Dan, welcome to the show. Christopher Val is not the first artist in Machiavelli Records. Noble, yeah, I believe you went with the Outlaws album. Yeah, I agree. Let's see here. Look at the holy mackerel. Let's see. We've got so many comments coming through. Corey Wilson, hey. Keenan Brezel, hey, how you doing? Welcome to the show. And then you got a what's up from Sakidra. So we got a lot of people chatting right now. What's good, Derek? How you doing, buddy? And Baron Moore as well. Welcome to the show. Glad you guys could be here. This is the place where we talk about the real, and we spare no expense in getting to the heart of where we are with the investigation. Of course, as always in the show is my fart gun, and the fart gun is here, just so people who are asking about it know it's still there. So.
Shout out to Baron Moore and Sean Booth from Soul Central Magazine, by the way. Everybody go check that out.
Hey, Soul Surfer Magazine. All right. Man, I got to get me a subscription, I think, huh? Sounds like. All right. Can you still hear me? I kind of adjusted my headset. Can you hear me all right now?
Yeah, 100%.
Just in time. All right. So, like I said, I don't think there was anything all that shocking or unusual in it. And they certainly didn't come to a conclusion about that, which I thought was very interesting. They really didn't come to a conclusion other than to have somebody say, well, Suge would have been a fool if he would have done that. That's what I got from it. Did you feel that way? That they really didn't end it? It really wasn't a concluded episode?
It was a little convoluted. It looked like it was kind of rushed to set up the death row hostile takeover theory. It really looked like a softball pitch to really set up our theory. Now, we know how these things can go. They can edit it either way they want. This show could go any way, folks. But it does look good for us. Although it seemed rushed at the end. I would have liked it better had they not taken half the episode right in the middle of it to explain how Tupac got to death row for dummies. But I understand it's their format. But other than that, I appreciate having Randall Sullivan on there. I kind of went off the question, but yeah, I think they made Suge look like a dummy or it would be dumb of him to try to pull that off.
Well, Gino Moulton asked a good question, RJ. Do you really feel that Tupac killing was caused by the audit he put on death row, but all hell broke loose? Well, we did when we did Battle for Compton. We really thought that if there was going to be a motive for it, there's no better motive than money. And, of course, we got that in working with Russell Poole's theories and Randall Sullivan theories, which were new at the time. We've learned a whole lot in the last, 20 years. The last 10 years, we've learned just scads more. And I don't believe it. In fact, one of the notes that I had on the account here was they were talking about, and it was a very controversial statement to make, Jesse, I think, when they started talking about Tupac's royalties and the fact that Suge was trying to cook the books about the royalties, saying that Tupac didn't owe any royalties. He wasn't owed anything because he spent too much money on this, he spent too much money on that. First off, that's a regular distributor game. That's what they all do. They all try to sink your profits into saying that they paid for this and they paid for that. And after you're done taking out all the advances and everything else, then you're even, if not owing the distributor, and they certainly don't owe you any money. Fortunately, our distributor's not like that, so we're okay. But that doesn't mean I haven't seen that happen in my personal life. I actually have seen that happen, and that's when we sued our distributor. That's what they tried to do. They tried to say, hey, we don't owe you anything because all these expenses chewed up all your royalties, so we don't owe you anything, which we called bullshit on, and on that. And we settled our lawsuit, and that was that. But so I can see that. But the problem I have is that there was a statement that was made about Tupac being that Stephanie Fredericks made about Tupac going to get paid in October and was owed, for 10 million copies of an album. And I mean, I know there were allegations in the Afeni Shakur lawsuit against Death Row Records that made those allegations, but they hadn't seen any accounting yet. So I'm not really sure if they can say how much money was actually owed to Tupac. He did have a royalty account, and David Kenner did get access to that royalty account the day after they signed that contract. So there was definitely money in there that David Kenner had taken out, and they had already gone through it, and they had already spent it. So the notion that Tupac was owed some money from Interscope in October of 1996, I'm not really sure where that's coming from, and I think that's more either old information or kind of a wives' tale at the time. So I'm just really not sure that that's true, because I think that pretty much Kenner gutted the Tupac All Eyes on Me royalties in 1995 when they got him out of prison. And I think that what he didn't gut was actually set aside and was used to advance the money for the bail. That's my opinion.
And the A&E show kind of went back and forth. I mean, on one hand, they were, unsure about the royalties, and then on the other hand, they said that Tupac was due a payment a month after his death. So
yeah.
They're not making it exactly real clear. RJ, the question's been asked here in the thread. Did you ask Freeway Rick Ross about the patents?
We didn't have time to ask Freeway Ricky Ross anything. Here's the story about our interview with Freeway Ricky Ross. Freeway Ricky Ross would not interview with us. He would not. I emailed him. I contacted him. I went on and on, tried to get a hold of this cat. I hit his Twitter account. Any other way you try to contact this dude, I tried to contact you. This dude was not calling me back. And so I actually managed to contact some mutual acquaintances of ours that I know that are in the let's just say they're in the business of having a bunch of guys who believe the same way that they do in something kind of like a gang. That these guys were kind of shot callers in the gang. And I was able to ask them if they might help me facilitate communication with Mr. Ross. And through their communication with Mr. Ross, they just told me to show up at a certain time at a place, which we did, and he was there. And Ricky Ross was good enough to give us an interview for better part of what, Jesse? Was it 18 minutes? I think he was there in total. He showed up and he was there.
20 minutes tops.
Yeah, Jesse was there when it happened. And the reality of the situation
I was
we
the
had
sound
specific
guy
questions
for that.
Yeah, that's right. And
I was a producer and shit.
All up in the video and shit. Well, so they answered the question specifically. No, we didn't get time to, because there were other things that we wanted to talk to Ricky Ross about. We wanted to talk to him about the Operation Big Spender. We wanted to talk to him about other things that were going on at that time. And more importantly, how Suge Knight met, how he got introduced to David Kenner. We never really got into that. And in fact, that's actually a question that's sitting out there right now. Jesse from Conspiracy Radio, I don't know if he's online right now, but he's a good associate of ours. He's actually working on that right now. He's trying to work on an interview with Ricky Ross, and that's going to be one of the questions on the agenda right away. So, that was there. Now, and another thing about it, too, is that, if you notice in Battle for Compton, we don't concentrate on the confession letter a lot. Battle for Compton has a 5 or 6 minute segment about it, but it's not a major part of our movie. I mean, would that be fair to say, Jesse? I mean, would that be fair to say that we?
Yeah, I believe most of the work print while you were, doing the editing and all the legwork. The first couple runs of Battle for Compton focused mainly on police corruption and Reggie Wright Jr. and ties to Vegas. The letter played very little part of it, and even in talks that we were having, you were trying to make the decision on whether or not to include it. Right.
And again, because, we want to make sure it's validated. We want to make sure the facts are there. But see, I guess what a lot of people don't understand about Battle for Compton, and it's been a big misconception by people. So if you're hearing this for the first time, and if you haven't seen the movie, go see the movie, for God's sake. One of the things that we tried to bring out, yeah, it's on YouTube and it's free. Here's the deal, guys. If the police are corrupt, and you've got guys like Tim Brennan and Bobby Ladd running around spewing the Orlando Anderson theory, and you got the LAPD trying to say that it was some grudge East Coast, West Coast thing, and they're trying to put it all out there and using whatever leverage they can to tell a fake story, that's a lot of noise. And it doesn't really matter if you have a theory that says the Pattons do it. You can have a theory that says Colonel Sanders did it. And it really doesn't matter, because no matter what your theory is, whether it's true or whether it's not, whether it's provable, whether it's not, it doesn't matter, because all of this corruption, all this police corruption, all of the people trying to cover their own ass and cover up the corruption, keep any story, whether it be the Pattons or Colonel Sanders, it keeps the story from being told. And that was the point of Battle for Compton. It was not that we were trying to posit a new theory. We mentioned it, but it's one of other theories that are out there. And again, we happen to believe this one because we're involved with it. But the moral of Battle for Compton, the thesis of Battle for Compton, the story of Battle for Compton is it doesn't matter what theory you have. It's never going to get heard so long as you got guys like Kading and Brennan and Ladd and all these guys running around trying to cover their asses for one reason or another and promoting a bullshit theory. It's just never going to get heard because there's more money, they have more sway, they have more political clout, they've got the publicity machines of Universal Studios, LAPD. You've got all these people with these publicity machines pushing this stuff out. So it really doesn't matter what the hell it is that you... Is he ready? Okay, he's ready? Okay, yeah. And so I got to get to our guest. Our guest is here. But I want to tell you, Jesse, it doesn't matter what your theory is. And that's why we didn't concentrate on the letter so much. And that's really why we didn't drill with Freeway Ricky Ross over it, was because it really wasn't something we were sure we were going to really spend that much time on. So it wasn't important. And yeah, had I had an hour to spend with Ricky Ross, I would have asked him everything. But we tried to focus and nail down the things that we wanted to get for the movie as we knew it. So that's in a nutshell. So,
hey, RJ, and this has been brought to my attention multiple times, and I want to ask your opinion on it. We were talking about it earlier. All of a sudden, it seems with the Fox special and now with the A&E special that they have completely changed the location of the girl's car. Statements put the girl's car on the left-hand side. Now they have the girl's car either in front or behind of the Cadillac in the turn lane.
yeah.
What do you think about that, and where do you think
Frank
that
said
that
it was.
comes from?
Yeah, Frank said the girl's car. I mean, we had a diagram in Tupac's assassination. Frank saw it a number of times. He said the girls were on the other side of the car because it was kind of distracting that they were looking the other way, that they were looking at the girls on the other side of the car. This whole thing about the girls, I mean, every time we talk to them, every time there's a new interview, it's different information. It's something different, you know. And I don't know what they told them and what was cut up, but at the same time, they clearly can't get their act together as far as what their story is. They certainly don't remember what they told the cops. That's usually the freshest recollection of what's going on. And then they're relying, I think, on e.d.i. don't means theory on what his stuff is and what his recollection is that he didn't want to tell the cops about, I guess.
Well,
But it's something you got to realize. Well, hold on. Something you got to realize, and we pointed this out in Battle for Compton, something you got to realize about e.d.i. don't mean is that Reggie Wright had a conversation with Frank Alexander on the telephone, and we had that call. We'll put it back up if we need to. But when Reggie Wright Jr. was trying to get Frank Alexander to testify against Orlando Anderson, to go up there and make the whole story about the chain being snatched and go back to Vegas and make that allegation to the Vegas police, which we all know is fake news. It's false. Never happened. But Reggie wanted Frank to go up there and tell the story and identify Orlando Anderson about the guy who snatched the chain. He wanted him to lie to the Vegas police. Frank didn't want to do it. Who did Reggie Wright say was going to go to the Vegas police with Frank and tell this story?
E.d.i.
E.d.i. don't mean.
We were supposed to went down to Vegas, me, you, and Malcolm, because Malcolm can ID the person. We were supposed to send you and him down to ID, to see if look at the pictures because they had a suspect, and that's when they had Orlando as a suspect, and then they were going to just have y'all look at the pictures before then just to see if maybe that, made your memory get better or whatever. So you can describe somebody, but once you see a picture, oh yeah, that's him. And so that's what they were going to have you to do. And that's what David told them, that we got two witnesses that's, maybe can help you out and put some things in the light. And plus the statement that you gave about the chain and all of that, with the additional information.
Okay. E.d.i. don't mean was willing to go to the Vegas police and lie to the Vegas police about a chain being snatched, which we know didn't happen, which Tim Brennan in his stuff said didn't happen. E.d.i. don't mean was willing to go, according to Reggie Wright, it's kind of like, well, who do you believe in that situation, right? And he was willing to go to Vegas and lie to the Vegas police and tell a fake chain snatch story and say that it was Orlando Anderson. He could identify the person in the car. That's what E.d.i. don't mean told Reggie, and Reggie was willing to send it to Vegas to do, and he wanted Frank to go along with E.d.i. don't mean. Okay? So really, what do you make of this guy's story now with the girls on the other side of the car? I think it's as much bullshit as he was willing to tell Vegas in the first place.
And also, keep in mind, the last two specials that come out, you're looking at the Fox special, which looks like a clear ripoff of the A&E special, but because A&E special was a film first, but you have who's leading the narrative? E.d.i. mean. E.d.i. don't mean, E.d.i., however you want to say his name.
Yeah, E.d.i. mean.
He is leading the narrative on the Fox special, and he's stirring the narrative on the A&E special. Now, all of a sudden, to back up what RJ's saying, we have slight details that are just a little bit wrong. You put the girls on the different side, you put them in front of the car, behind the car, then all of a sudden you have a new perspective, and you have fresh eyewitnesses that are actually old eyewitnesses there to tell another story, E.d.i. to eat another meal, and the outlaws to collect another paycheck. Hey all, it's Jmix here, and I want to thank everybody that took the time to watch the video. If you liked it, go ahead and throw it a like, maybe even a comment down below. And if you really like my content, check out my Patreon. The link is down below. For $1 a month, you get all the live streams, unedited as soon as they happen, plus interviews in advance and other bonus content. The link is in the description. If not, you guys could always watch one of the videos to the side of me. See you on the next upload. One love, everybody.